is going to have a nuclear weapon within 15 days. This news from Mossad, from Israel, came out 3 hours after President Trump said 2 weeks. He's going to come to a decision within 2 weeks. Then, 3 hours after President Trump says that, Mossad comes out and says Iran is going to have a nuclear weapon within 15 days, 2 weeks. That is, as far as I'm concerned, a little bit weird. What are the odds that Mossad gets new information and new intelligence on the Iranian nuclear weapons program 3 hours after President Trump gives his 2-week time frame, and Mossad's new time frame for Iran's nuclear bomb is also 2 weeks, the same as President Trump's time frame? That sounds that's like unbelievable. It's a lot to believe. That's almost unbelievable. What are the odds? That's astounding. Then beyond that, I looked this up as I was getting today's broadcast ready. I said, when is the last time that any sort of foreign inspectors, any non-Iranian inspectors have been to the Iranian nuclear facilities to determine what's going on inside of these facilities? Well, like I said 20 minutes ago, it was in May of 2024, which is 13 months ago. So the last time any type of foreign non-Iranian nuclear inspectors or inspection took place, where they actually went down into Fordow, they went down into these facilities to take a look, was 13 months ago. So I'm thinking, like, what are the odds that Mossad just now has discovered new information about the Iranian nuclear weapon timeframe 3 hours after President Trump gives his 2-week time frame? How did Mossad even get this information? Where are they getting that information from? Are they reinterpreting the old information in a different way now, incidentally, 3 hours after President Trump? I don't know. I'm going to read through this article here because I don't know the answer. Maybe this is from the Times of Israel. Maybe they have some more information here. Despite Iran's development of a large stockpile of enriched uranium that cannot serve any peaceful purpose, U.S. intelligence agencies continue to differ, with more foreboding Israel assessments that the Islamic Republic is actively pursuing a nuclear weapon, according to a Thursday report. That's this one from Mossad. 15 days. According to the New York Times, the Mossad believes that Iran could assemble a nuclear weapon within 15 days, while U.S. assessments are more conservative, estimating that it would take Tehran several months or up to a year to make a bomb.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I give up, right? I'm gonna wave the white flag. I've just spent the last, what, 10 minutes ranting. No, what? Yeah, no, probably longer than that. If anybody's still here, I appreciate you sticking around because I have not been looking. Okay, note to self: take a look at the chat while you're talking. I was on the wrong screen. Oh, God. Shh. I could say a lot of words right now, but now that I realize, now I know I'm not muted. Is anybody there? Hello, if you're still there, I love you. If you're not, I understand. If you're watching the replay and you gave up because there was no sound for the last X number of it. Oh, God. Mic is off, nothing, no sound. Apologies. It's been one of those days. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check to see if anybody's still here. If nobody's here, I'm signing off because, to be honest with you, they've either started World War III or Iran's been dealt with. The markets are tanking because, of course, it's the worst kept secret. Oh, God. Well, Fabulo's here. Hey, Fabulo, thank you for being here. City Flyer, you still with us? Thank you so much. Base T in the house. Oh, Hawk of the Forest. Oh, thank you. Mwah, I love you all. Those of you who've stuck it out. What can I say? I'm quite highly agitated. Happy Friday night. So it's the 20th of June, 2025, and I just literally have spent the last, I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time. Ranting. So long and the short of it is, and in fact, I'm just going to edit for you what I just said with all those words that nobody heard. Oh my God, it was so good as well. I had so many great analogies. Why didn't somebody call me? Hello, Walker the Forest. Nobody called me to say, you're muted. Right, look, I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to, instead of doing all the questions and everything that I said when I was muted, I'm going to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, or say, actually, where do I begin? So to begin with, I was showing you what I came in on was love and hugs, no fear, no war, time for happy people. Oh, and I'm on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. I always forget I'm on YouTube. Matt Morse. I had Matt Morse on, and to open up. Oh, Alex Belfield is out. Alex Belfield, who was imprisoned again. I can't stand the man, to be honest with you. He's just really difficult to deal with, but he's been in prison again by the English state, by the state of this country, by the false imprisonment, and he was in for quite a while. So, I gotta tell you, that's him. So Alex Belfield, I guess he was some kind of personality. I can't remember if he was on the radio or TV or whatever in England, and he was very obviously outspoken with his reporting. And the state came after him. And Jeremy Vine, that's it. Jeremy Vine, who is a dark side force of the deep state media, managed to get him prosecuted for, nonsense, words. And he was convicted and sent to prison. So Alex Belfield, Katie Hopkins will be thrilled to bits. I think, is it Katie Hopkins who appreciates Alex Belfield because he hosted her when nobody else would or something? There's some, relationship there. So, good news. That's happy news. Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I would say, the man is just, to me, I couldn't really listen to him very much. even though I may have agreed with a lot of things he said, there's a lot of things that I thought it's just a bit, whatever. But yeah, that said, happy days. He's out. It's a travesty. This country is not a free country, guys. I mean, newsflash: England is not a lawfully run country. Just so you know, in case you hadn't noticed. It's as hypocritical and as dark as the day is long, especially today, which is the longest day of the year. Apparently, it's the summer solstice tonight. Yay! So, yay, but no, because from tonight, after tonight, apparently every night's going to come in close. It's going to get darker a little bit earlier. Blah. So, anyway, just saying, this country sucks. I can't wait. The markets are crashing. Probably, well, actually, no, they've just suddenly started to recover. When I was looking at the markets, they were bleeding because, of course, the worst kept secret was that President Trump, here's the state of play, as if that I know. The biggest international story of the moment is, of course, Iran, Israel, Trump. Okay? And I'm going to tell you now that the only place I'm going to get the information as to far as what is going on from is going to be Donald Trump's lips. And definitely to make sure it's his lips talking. I'm not going to look at the, I mean, I look, obviously I look at the internet, but there's so much noise out there beyond any recognition of rumors and whatever's happening and Israel's doing this and Iran's not giving up and blah, 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 that it's really tricky to find out what's actually going on. But all I do know is that it was, I believe yesterday was when Donald Trump said he's going to make a decision within the next couple of weeks as to whether he's going to take a big action against Iran, or even, he probably didn't even say that. I've probably misquoted that. But he was within 2 weeks. Now, to say, I don't know if I can't remember what was muted when I was talking and what wasn't. But as of this moment in time, Friday afternoon, there was apparently an earthquake just about an hour ago, declared in Iran. I've seen somebody looking up with Wikipedia. In fact, it was Agenda Free TV. Steve, I think it's Luckner. He was looking at Wikipedia, and apparently Iran is on a fault of many faults, besides the moral faults that the Ayatollah has. They also happen to be apparently on a very active region of the world with the tectonic plates. So an earthquake isn't unusual. It just seems the timing is coinciding with the bunker busting bombs that are being threatened to be dropped to try to destroy the Iranian nuclear weapon creation building equipment. So rumor is that bunker busting bombs have potentially are going to be dropped to try to destroy Iran's nuclear silos. And I'm no expert on this kind of stuff at all, but I know that people are saying, okay, it would be very, very coincidental for there to have been an earthquake around the same time that people are talking about bunker busting bombs being dropped. So, now, reports are that over the last 24 hours, at least 20 C-117A Globemaster 3 and C-5M Galaxy strategic heavy lift transports with the U.S. Air Force have arrived at air bases in the Middle East from Europe, most originating from base in the United States, carrying additional air defense systems, munitions, support equipment, and personnel as preparations are in full swing for the U.S. to potentially join Israel in their ongoing war against Iran. And then again, here, right, it says Iran fired, just as an hour ago, a barrage of roughly 25 ballistic missiles at Israel earlier today, with one impacting the city of Haifa, causing serious damage to a mosque. Sorry, is that who was? This was from Iran firing missiles to Israel, and They managed to find a mosque. Oops. That guy's dead. Causing serious damage to a mosque and several other nearby buildings. 2 people were seriously injured in the attack, while around 45 others suffered moderate to very light injuries, most not requiring hospitalization and being treated on site by Magen David Adom, whatever that is. Now, I don't know if this footage is accurate. It's a picture of smoke, you know. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, nowadays, this is apparently, you know, we get just seconds, just short clips of things, which is by design. By design, because it makes you look like you think that's what it is. There's a lot of deception going on. I don't know if that's from today. I don't know if that's whatever in Israel, you know. So oh, look, the mosque is devastated. I know I shouldn't be laughing. I mean, I didn't even have to ask for his forgiveness because we're talking about the demon mosque being damaged. Oh God, is it wrong of me? Is it bad that they damaged their own thing? Oh, look at the windows, they're all shattered, all of them. Oh. Was anyone injured? God loves you. Nobody was here. Hello, House Nagvar. Oh well, that sucks. Yeah, the man was injured. Anyway, look, the mosque is devastated. Again, I don't know if this is true, right? But I think it's quite hilarious. I mean, I'm glad nobody was killed. I am. I don't like death. Don't like death at all, but again, of the footage I have, I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's genuine. There's so much fakery out there, but so take it or leave it. I say, you know, wait, sorry, shut up. Take everything with a pinch of salt, which is what I'm going to do. Stop it. Would you shut up? I wasn't playing that clip. Shut up. Right, now, so, again, that's it for Iran, Israel. I'm not sure why Israel, what happened to the Iron Dome? What happened? Not working anymore? What's going on? I mean, I thought the Iron Dome was supposed to stop the bombs coming in, but it doesn't seem to be working. Now, here we go. So from BRICS, 2 hours ago, it says, Iran says it's ready to consider diplomacy once again. Now, Donald Trump, I believe, is over the idea of talks. He doesn't want a ceasefire. He wants a surrender. Because, of course, ceasefire means just a pause. And it suggests that there's going to be, you know, the problem, you've got to cut it out, right? You've got to cut the cancer out. So, you know, and I have no problem with it. Because I truly believe that the people of Iran, who are Persian, not Islamic, really want their country back. And it's been, you know, I mean, Iran says it's open to continuing nuclear talks with the US. A bit late because there's President Trump has clearly stated they were given 60 days to come to the table. They didn't come to the table, and on the 61st day, it was like, oh, well, there you go. And you know, and this is him just a short while ago talking to reporters.
Mr. President, the Iranian foreign minister this afternoon said if the U.S. is serious about negotiations, that you would call up Israel and request that they stop their airstrikes. Will you make that request?
Well, I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing. But we're ready, willing, and able, and we've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, the Iranian...
Look, we're never going to be able to guess what's going on, to be honest with you. And I do not want to listen to all the people who are just literally armchair generals. Nobody can second guess President Trump. Nobody can. But I think, yeah, we know his aim has been clear. He's clearly stated it, and you know, I don't have a problem with this at all. I don't have a problem with Hamas being destroyed, with Hezbollah being destroyed, and the Ayatollah being removed. I just don't, because there's just been this moral equivalence, this false equivalence given to the situation, to the two places, to Israel and Iran. And of course, with Iran, don't read the people. With Iran, you're talking about the people in charge, and Israel, with the Mossad people, did precision strikes last week where they took out the generals and the scientists. There's many, well, not many. I've heard a few versions of what actually happened, how they did it, and whether it will come to light, I don't know. But some people have said that actually, I'm going to tell you one theory. Actually, no. Okay, put a one in the chat if you are if you get me, if you understand where I'm coming from. Put a 2 in the chat if you think, no, it's outrageous, it's awful, it's no good, Israel is in the wrong, it's just wrong. That's it. I'm giving you a 1 or a 2. Graham from Periscope, City Flyer. You're not Graham. That's a blast from the past there, Graham. Wonderful to see you. I know you've been here. I know I've obviously seen you, but I didn't realize it was you. Have you seen The Mess in Israel? It didn't work. What, the Iron Dome didn't work. Again, I say, people are doing this sort of moral equivalence. I'm going to say to you again, right? Well, one of the things, one of my questions out there was, because I've heard, I can't believe how many people are outraged at Israel preemptively attacking, specifically targeting the ones that are not negotiated, the generals and the scientists. They did precision strikes. Again, I've heard that there were Mossad agents who were actually double agents, because whenever it was with Hezbollah or the Pages or something, the Ayatollah tried to get, he ordered somebody that was working with him to try and fish out all the Mossad agents in order to, because he'd heard that there were spies within, and the person he'd given the job to was a Mossad agent. Oh God, you couldn't make it up. And so of course the Ayatollah didn't know that, and it turns out obviously they knew exactly where the generals and scientists were. And some say that the mechanism of death was local, a bit like the Pagers, where it was just they literally killed them in their beds, but apparently the wives, if they were lying next to them, didn't get affected. So it's scary. It's scary to think of what technology they used. Although I can imagine it was probably the Bluetooth. It's probably the phone. They probably had it on here, and they just set it off. But of course, they would have to have the phone. But anyway, various ways they did it. And to be honest with you, if it's true that Hezbollah and Hamas are proxy armies under Iran, trying to destroy Israel, then, and the Houthis, Yemen, I don't really care about them, to be honest. I don't care if they're proxies or not. Jihad, they are at war with us. They declared war against us, the West, and of course we have people within our governments and within all the agencies who are working for the Muslim Brotherhood, for the Jihad, and have done their damnedest with, an example of the grooming gangs in this country that again is coming to light. The grooming gang, the so-called grooming gang, the raping gangs that are Muslim, 99% Muslim. Those won't be the statistics that they'll give out, because the government is covering up for it, the police cover up. It's an absolute outrage. The media covers up, has covered it up for years. And now they're talking about it again. The reason why they're talking about it now, ladies and gentlemen, I truly believe is because they're trying to rush through this assisted dying bill where people can be put to sleep with allegedly, less than 6 months to live, and we'll have the safeguards up to make sure that people, don't get murdered, or don't. It's a mistake. Ugh. Anyway, so they're doing that. They've put through the abortion bill, which says, like the demon rats, they can abort a baby right at the moment of birth, which is just demonically driven. It is the agenda's still on. They want to get rid of us, and they'd say, I have very different. I find it so hard. I want to play these things for you, ladies and gentlemen, and then when I get round to it, I think, oh, I can't. It's just so bad. Okay, so let me just try and. Right, I'm going to see if there's much chat going on. Hello, Foxhole. How are you doing, everybody? Thank you for joining me. Family Low's got to go. I love you, Family Low. Have a good night, whatever it is you got to do. We got Base T, City Flyer understands. Thank you so much. Good. I just can't believe how many people support the terrorists. I mean, I just can't believe the Islamic jihadists. Now, I just show you. Oh, no, I'm not going to talk about that. Wait. All right, so what's on my list? So we have this. I know I put World War III as a title thing. I mean, I genuinely don't believe we're having World War III at all. I think Donald Trump has got this in hand. I believe that Iran is going to submit. Well, they have to, or and it'll be the leaders will be obliterated. I mean, that really is seemingly where we are. There can't be a World War III because you'd need to have other participants, and it looks like the capability of Iran to do it is being prevented. Now, very exciting stuff with XRP. Very exciting. Now, what I said, when I looked at the markets, they were bleeding red, but it looks like they've recovered very quickly. XRP's at $2.14 in the green. I literally thought that the markets were going to bleed dry because it was the worst kept secret with this bunker busting bomb. And from what I understand from not him. I can't do the grooming gangs, guys. I get so upset about it. I do. It just upsets me so much. This whole grooming gang scandal, raping gangs, the cover-ups. It's just it's painful. But Matt Moores, let's see what he's saying now.
Crazy happens. Keep an eye on those.
Let's see.
Breaking news update: the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, has released footage showing the launch of Imad and Qatar medium-range ballistic missiles toward Israel during the 7th wave of Operation True Promise 3. So what does this show? This shows an escalation from the Iranian side. Now, Iran, we had a super chatter point this out a minute ago, that Iran isn't even firing off the most impressive ballistic missiles. They've been using the small missiles, the weak missiles, the slow missiles in order to overwhelm and deplete Israel's missile defense battery. So now it seems like I'm not a part of the IRGC. Anyway, it seems like Iran is kind of kicking things up a notch here. Let me take a look. 7th, sorry. Yeah, that seems. Oh, my headset flipped off here.
Right, Ocean Warfare.
Anyway, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is 7th, not 17th. Need to turn my headset back on. And okay, I think we're good.
Oh.
Those are some missiles.
Of course, the thing is, the footage. Unfortunately for me, I question whether it's legit. Sadly, it's very hard to know. Whether the footage is old footage, you know, library footage. This is the video he was showing. It's apparently Iran stuff. I mean, this actually seems like real footage to me. The actual videoing, this person's filming with it seems like a phone. So, hello, Aloha Snackbar. This doesn't seem real to me right now. This one doesn't. This does not look real. That one doesn't look real. How crazy. But maybe it is. I'm not an expert. It might be close up. I don't know, right? So Iran is making a big mistake, okay? But it's got to play out. It's got to play out. And I would be very surprised if Israel and President Trump underestimated the Iranian capabilities. I would be. Wouldn't you? So just going to say, right, in my opinion, for what it's worth, I would suggest that this is not going to spread. Nobody else is going to join in. It's not going to be World War III, right? It is literally between the three. Nobody's going to step in and start joining sides. They'll talk about it, but you know, I think Trump's got it. It's a lot of noise. There's obviously possible damage. So apparently, according to the Iranian foreign minister, whose name I cannot pronounce, we have clearly informed the European side that our missile capabilities are non-negotiable. We will not negotiate with any party as long as Israel's attacks continue. It shows an interesting video of the Iron Dome interceptors engaging a submunition from the cluster warhead of an Iranian ballistic missile. While Iron Dome is not designed to intercept ballistic missiles themselves, its use against descending submunitions can still reduce the potential scale of destruction such warheads may inflict. However, intercepting the ballistic missile itself is beyond the capabilities of Iron Dome for several key technical reasons. So this is a video. So there it is there. Ah, get it. Interesting. Okay. That's kind of interesting. So these were fired up to intercept the missile coming in. This one's swirling around to get it. This one is as well. Oh, I haven't really watched it before. Now, of course, there's apparently the Israeli government said that nobody was to film this kind of stuff going on. Or no, they weren't supposed to say the location. They also weren't supposed to report on damage. Again, 2 hours ago, they said the IDF stated that the Israeli Air Force fighter jet struck several Hezbollah military sites in southern Lebanon a short while ago, including rocket launchers and cache of weapons. So, yeah, I'm just going to say, pray for Israel. Pray for... Good morning, Miss Amy. Omnidirectional. Good hello to you. Now, morning? Where is it morning for you? Well, it's evening to me. Or is this from tonight? Is this from this morning? I don't even know anymore. I'm confused.com. All right. I'll tell you, I don't know. It's only so much time. I'm praying. It is what it is. Let's see. Right. Haifa mayor. Right. Now, President Trump has I was quite excited, just so you know, that President Trump, to me, again, everything I'm questioning everything, and it's really irritating that I cannot take visuals, I cannot take statements, remarks, posts as legit unless I go to the source. All right. Now, I'm satisfied because that's all I'm going to try and tell you. If I'm not sure if it's if I'm not sure about the solidness of the information, then I'm going to tell you that you need to check it for yourself. But I can tell you that for the first time ever, well, in my recollection, President Trump pretty much did a Q reference, okay? And it happened 2 days ago where, oh, you are on my screen. Okay, 2 days ago where he made this remark. Now, of course, I believe that most people here who are listening are aware of, obviously, all the Q drops, the Q stuff, right? And with Donald Trump's raising of these flags 2 days ago, let me see if this is going to work now. Let's see. You know, there were references to pretty much the plan. Now, I don't know why this is not working, which is kind of annoying now. Come on. It worked this morning. Why can't I get this up? The thing is on my website is if I'm in the editing bit, I probably can't get to it. So let me just get a copy link, and I'll put it up here. President Trump mentioned being the hunter. I mean, that was exciting. And he also, again, I have to double check this, but it seems as though he's called for a special counsel on the 2020 election theft. Powell, what's her name? Powell? There's all kinds of information going out there with Alex Jones is covering it. A lot of people are covering it to do with the Chinese involvement again. I mean, look, it's all regurgitated information. Some of it may be new, but, you know, we all know with Mike Lindell's evidence and everybody else's evidence in 2020 that pretty much everybody stole the election. Right? Internationally, the foreign nations intervened, including Iran. I believe Iran participated, China, allegedly, Europe, Italy, China, right, in the theft. So Sidney Powell, I think, has been named by President Trump to do another investigation. And that was today. Anyway, so on the 18th, Donald Trump, did I already mention this? So omnidirectional said good morning to me, and then said, it is evening here in Kansas right now, so why would it be evening for you? It's almost 4 p.m. here, because we're only 5 hours ahead of you. We're only 5 hours ahead. If you're East Coast time. So that's why it's still evening. So this was a relationship to that video, which I haven't played because it wouldn't play. Here it is here. So here's the videos from 2 days ago.
airmen, if he orders a strike in Iran, may be reduced because he describes Iran as totally defenseless right now. He went on to say he may do it, he may not do it. Right now you can see the president is saluting the flag on the South Lawn, going up for the first time, something that will be there for a long time. John.
Yeah, it was quite a ceremony this morning as they put up the flagpole. Let's see if we can pick up some of the ambient audio here.
No, you can't. They couldn't pick it up. So President Trump here was here when he was speaking to the reporters, you know, after the flags were raised. This is what he said that was directly related to the Q drops.
I've had it for a long time. In the first term I had it, but you know, you guys were after me.
When he was the idea of putting the flagpoles up and the flags, she asked, you know, what happened, why?
I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
When the hunter becomes the hunted. Oh my God. I mean, I could listen to this on a loop over and over and over again, because whilst everything, there's a lot of messaging and, you know, sort of subtle things, and people are seeing things where there may not be something, you know, post or whatever. I don't know if he's ever directly said something quite so exciting.
I've had it for a long time. In the first term I had it, but you know, you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter.
Okay, so I got to find that drop actually. Q. I don't know which drop might be related to that, but you know, I think it was the hunt. Was it the hunt for Red October or something? Or you know, I say, I'm not up on all the drops or anything like that. I was. I don't know if I can find it on here actually. I don't know if I can search it just by a phrase or this is nothing to do with that. Okay, so actually I don't think I have anybody in there chat, but pretty much, you know, the reference is a Q reference, right? The hunter become a hunter, hunt for Red October. Let's see. Probably can't find it here. Oh, it's interesting. Oh yeah, now again. I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter. Trust the plan. Nothing can stop what's coming. Now, apparently, again, this is just, it's cut. Oh, here we go. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Whoever that is who posted that. Right, so here we go. Hunters became the hunted. Hunters become the hunted. The hunt is on. Oh, God, please let it be so. Oh my God. 9 years. Buckle up. Wow. Hunters become the hunted. That was Q drop 3557, July 30th, 2019. Targets may be closer than they appear. Hunters become the hunted. Wow. Yeah, and there you go. Isn't that funny? That was his picture from 2017. Such a happy guy. So thrilled to be the president. And after 9 years of non-stop disgusting being hunted. That's what they've created. They've created a monster. On our side, thankfully.
I've had it for a long time. In the first term I had it, but you know, you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
Can you believe he just dropped that there? Right, so Mike from Stockton in Foxhole, thank you so much, in Pill.net said, World War III is like a 100-piece puzzle, but we've only been given 30 pieces, right? With all the classified info across all nations, everything is a guess. Yeah. And there's so much noise going on out there that's trying to vie for our attention. It is very difficult to, you know, get what's really happening. But it is very exciting for me. I'm so excited about this one thing. And a lot of people picked that up. So now this was retruthed, okay? This was retruthed. This one on Donald Trump's Truth Social, which I didn't see, right? Because I'm just not very good at following his Truth Social, because it's not. It just isn't. I'm just not very good at going down his feed. It's not as user friendly, I don't think, as X. So I'm just going to go for see, here's the thing. When he posts something, there's nothing else other than the post. But I think possibly when he retruths, I thought that it said on the top, it would say it was a retruth. So what I am not entirely sure about with this site is where it's got his name, and then there's a link where it doesn't actually say he retruthed it, but it was from Truth. It was an I Stand With Trump individual who posted. It was Women for Trump, right? Who posted this? Trust the plan. At I Stand With Trump 47. Nothing can stop what's coming. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. No, he did it. I guess he did. He did. Wait, no, he didn't. You see, this says, right? So I don't understand. This says replying to @real Donald Trump. So I don't think he posted that. He posted, too many non-working holidays in America. It is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all of these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change. We're going to make America great again. So he didn't do that. So that was obviously talking about the stupid Juneteenth nonsense of the so-called free slaves. Free slave day. Oh gosh. So he didn't post this one. She replied to him. So I don't know how it works. I don't know why, people have it that he posted that. So, but anyway, he did say, I was the hunted, now I'm the hunter. That's good enough for me. And then, no, that's Carrie Lake. And of course, huge news about the lack of border crossings. It's, it's closed. It's very closed. It's very, very secure. And I did see a post earlier about an investigation into the 2020 theft. However, oh, wait a minute. Oh, hang on.
Everybody see Mr. President to be that of a peacemaker? Do you worry that striking Iran would change that?
Always a peacemaker. That doesn't mean sometimes you need some toughness to make peace, but always a peacemaker.
There he goes. Always a peacemaker. Peace through strength.
Mr. President, the Iranian foreign minister this afternoon said if the U.S. is serious about negotiations, that you would call up Israel and request that they stop their airstrikes. Will you make that request?
Well, I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's
winning,
it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing. But we're ready, willing, and able, and we've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens. Just time to see whether or not people come to their senses. That's all it is.
Did the Europeans help at all in talking with the Iranians?
No, they didn't help. No. Iran doesn't want to speak to Europe. They want to speak to us. Europe is not going to be able to help.
Have 2 weeks, or could you strike before that? Are you essentially giving them a 2-week timeline?
I'm giving them a period of time. We're going to see what that period of time is, but I'm giving them a period of time. and I would say 2 weeks would be the maximum.
And so, of course, that's not very. It really isn't clear.
Russia, Ukraine, you've been making progress towards a peace deal, but I don't know if you know this, but Lindsey Graham and Mike Pompeo were there on the ground in Ukraine, seemingly doing the opposite, trying to provoke the Ukrainians to keep fighting. What do you think of that?
Well, we're going to see, and people have to be very careful with what they say. They got to be very careful with their mouth, because their mouth can get them into a lot of trouble.
That was about Lindsey Graham, because Lindsey Graham is doing. He's what's that? What's the I can't remember the rule now. It's escaped me. Where you're not supposed to do. Obviously, there's it's absolutely treasonous to go and do diplomacy, diplomatic arrangements with a foreign country without the direct, without the instructions of the president. Logan Act, I believe it's called, the Logan Act. And Lindsey Graham apparently is in Ukraine again, encouraging Zelensky to continue with the fighting. And, you know, he's been doing that. And, you know, he's been doing it for years. And, you know, the thing is, it's jading. It's very, very, I am very jaded. I know everybody out there is too. The amount of times we've heard, and how many times he's complained over the years about wrong behavior, you know, wrong activity, unlawful activity, and he's now the president. He's again the president of the United States. It's for him to finally, you know, lay the law down. Lindsey Graham's been doing it, as has you know, the bloody demon rats. Right, so I haven't had any more information about the earthquake in Iran, whether that's got to do with the bomb buster. Again, that's just a rumor. Okay, remember, it's not been confirmed about this bomb busting, bunker busting bomb being used, which could have caused what would feel like an earthquake, but would be caused by massive explosions. I mean, it actually says the Washington Examiner has reported that an earthquake was detected in Iran. It says near the Fordow nuclear facility, so that's a possibility. Okay, the bunker busting bomb could have happened, but nothing's been said yet to confirm that. Right? But an earthquake has been reported. People have been talking about a bunker busting bomb to destroy the nuclear warheads or whatever to do with the Iranian military. And again, I'm going to re-emphasize that Israel is targeting military targets, targeting the generals, the scientists, all to do with the military. They're not going after the civilians, but of course there potentially would be civilian casualties, but accidentally, right? It's not so the other way around. The Islamic run groups want civilian casualties, aim for civilian casualties. That's really, you know, what they want. They don't care. They have no concern. And of course, they use civilians as shields, as human shields, which, of course, again, is something that seems to pass many virtue signalers by. They just don't seem to see the problem with the activity of the jihadists, the Islamic nightmare. So, but you know, that's their problem. They'll figure it out maybe one day. Maybe they won't. All right, so it's going to be a very interesting weekend with regards to the whole Iran, Israel situation. Donald Trump is going to keep his cards close to his chest, and time will tell what is going on. But I say the markets were tanking about an hour ago. They'll be affected. They will be affected, but only temporarily, right? TikTok really for the XRP situation, it is just quite astonishing. The build up, and in fact, you know what I'm going to do now to for something completely different and to come away from all the war talk. I'm actually going to play for you the latest episode from one of my favorite Oh, wrong one. One of my favorite, what do you call it? YouTubers. Right, which is 24 Hours Crypto, because his latest one, again, is going to say it. Many will be... Oh no, that was 2 days ago. Hold on. 25 minutes. Okay.
For this one, okay, if we're gonna really done this before, but
so what I'm going to say to you, right? Well, I won't. I'm going to let him say it. So this young man used to be in banking. He was in banking for 10 years, and all the clips he plays are historical clips. Well, this is very. I mean, this one where Brad Garlinghouse is talking to media, it was probably 8 years ago when he made these remarks.
Previously.
For money, what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. RP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well.
Previously on 24 Hours Crypto.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that's really interesting about the JPM
Oh, sorry.
is that it's essentially just a database rebranded as a blockchain. I mean, there's really no inherent need for using a blockchain for that.
Are you going to use a JPM coin? Is B of A going to use a JPM coin? Is PNC? And the answer is no. If you're just moving it within the JPM ledger, and it has to be dollar to dollar, a one-to-one backing, it honestly doesn't actually. I don't understand what problem that solves.
I'm into another episode of 20.
So that's 3 weeks ago. My apologies. I don't know why it's 3 weeks ago. What's going on here? Videos. 3 hours ago. Okay, here we go. Right, 15-minute video.
About the Internet of Value at Ripple. We're thinking
enjoy
much bigger
this.
than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with
Happy
rare books
Friday.
in the early days. Just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. RP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
So again, it's at $2.12 XRP for one. Integral part of the future, the financial system that's being put into place. The opportunity to own a piece of the rails that the future financial system is going to run on, to get value, is never going to happen again. And this is the time. And this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to say, in my opinion, this is not like a temporary thing. This is not something that's going to repeat itself in 5 years or 10 years to give you another opportunity to have a chance to get into something. Never going to happen again. It's never happened before in history, the history of money. It will never happen again. There is only going to be one time. This is the one time. I mean, it is quite astonishing to be in this position at this time in history. And how many people out there are just completely choosing? Actually, no. Once you don't know anything about it, nobody's ever mentioned it to them. That's fair enough. But once you've listened to myself or to anybody else talking about this space, the technical change that is being implemented as we speak, if you choose to ignore what myself, this young man, and many others in this space are saying, you will never, ever, ever forgive yourselves. Because there's never been an opportunity to not only get into something that is going to have ridiculous returns, ridiculous value. The money, the numbers are just, well, you can't even imagine them. It's never been easier. It's never been more straightforward. You don't need a middleman. You don't need permission, except for maybe your other half, or you don't even have to tell your other half. You don't need to invest a lot of money at all. And, you're not giving it to me. I'm not getting any benefit from you doing it. I have no reason to share this with you. I have nothing to gain. nothing to lose. The only thing I do get is a lot of grief. And what is so difficult for me, I know what I'm talking about, and I know how big this is. And I just want the just regular people who are struggling to understand that this is unlike any other time in history, and it will never happen again. And this is it. And when they do it, which is happening very well, we just had the Genius Act go through the Senate 2 nights ago. That is the first piece of legislation to do with digital assets, to do with stable coins, connected to Ripple, connected to XRP, not in name, but those of us in the know of this space know that that's exactly what they're talking about. That has gone through the is going through the U.S. Legislation. And I'd like to remind people of a few years ago when I first mentioned this thing that nobody was talking about, nobody had even heard of it. And it was not an everyday topic, and there were no apps on the phones. There was nothing on the phone that you could use on a mobile phone. There were no apps whatsoever to interact with this space. You could only do it through the computer, through a desktop or a laptop. That was it. The development has been incredible. I mean, it feels like it's taken forever for me because I thought I was late 7 years ago. 7.5 years ago, I thought I was late because I heard about it. I thought, well, if I know about it, everybody knows about it. It just is so epic. It's so huge. And there just is, it would be unforgivable. Even a little bit, even $20. I mean, just break it. Just break that spell. Break that resistance. And the other thing that it gives you is with all this crap going on in the world, all of this geopolitical gumph and noise and just darkness, there's a light of opportunity. There's a light of optimism. There's a place you could go to see the potential of what is coming. And it's not all about a demonic entity. This isn't. There are, dark aspects to this, to the whole idea of digital control. But you don't understand is that in the XRP Ripple space, it's decentralized. Decentralized. It genuinely is decentralized, which means there's no middleman. It's trustless. You don't need an intermediary like a bank, government, anybody to give you permission to enable you to send money where you want to send it to within the rails of the system, which are going to get more and more expanded. So if it was a very nefarious thing, I wouldn't be talking about it. I think many people know me who've been watching my stuff for years. You know that I do not talk about frivolous things, and I would not be so passionate about something if I was not convinced and sure of what I'm talking about. And it is probably hard for people to understand or believe that I am that bothered about people that I will never meet. 99% of people who are listening to me now, I will never meet you. But that doesn't matter to me. The knowledge to know that out there somewhere that I could have made a difference in a positive way. I'm going to get emotional in a minute. I don't want to get emotional. I almost tapped into something that I didn't mean to tap. I didn't know I was going there. It just means so much. For some reason, I don't know why. I think it's a curse, to be honest with you. There's times when I seem to care more about other people than I care about my own well-being, and that's just weird. I don't know what that is. But I have always had a sense of helping, wanting to help people, wanting to help somebody struggling, whatever it is, if they're in pain, if they're, whatever. I've just wanted to be there to help them, whether it's human, animal, whatever. That's it. So I have absolutely no other motivation, genuinely, to be saying what I'm saying, as much as I'm saying it, as often as I say it, as long as I've banged on about it, other than the desire to have just regular people, men and women, get into this space before it's too late. Once the regulations are signed and sealed, This is the thing, is that then there will be impediments. It will be too late. There's just the opportunity to be able to potentially to create generational wealth just will be gone. It won't be there because there'll be impediments. This is almost like the gold rush, in that people, when they found out where was told the gold was, they went to pan for gold. There were no gates, barriers, there was nothing, there were no restrictions. They could just go and pan for gold, and whatever they got, they kept, they went. But then once other people found out about it, and once other things, then it started to be more difficult, there were more people, and then there's to be starting to get the, right? The more people involved, the more people know, the more things, impediments get put into place and make it harder to do. And this is literally the Wild West of money. And it's going to be where that's going to put the barriers up, and you're not going to be able to send it or spend it, as you are now. I mean, you will with XRP. I mean, but it's going to be at this point, you'll be priced out. You will be priced out. Right now, it's at $2. When I was banging on about it, it was less. It was 50 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. It was all less than $1. On and on and on about it, And so, I mean, some people have gained, and they haven't made it to, obviously, what I'm talking about, which is, obviously life-changing. But look, this is what happened, right? This is where, right, look at this. This is from last year. Okay? I mean, it's just, we were there, right? It was 51 cents. Right up to the 4th of November, it was 50 cents, 54 cents. Right? It was around over. And then, boom, $2.56. I mean, it did go up to over $3, $3.27 and blah, blah, blah. But, this is nothing, okay? With what is going on with XRP and Ripple, what the arrangements they're making. So now I'm gonna play this guy, and I say this will be it. You will never get it again, and I just don't want people to miss out. If you do, you do. But I've done everything I can to just get people to just look, just go and look, for God. Don't just put the barrier up and say no, not listening, digital evil, blah 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 blah. You'll be sorry if you do. Just saying.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. My goodness, the 10-year vision, the 10-year agenda that they pitch to every financial institution that they're working with are about to all go live and plug and play into the new system. Sit back, relax. The perspective, the evidence that I'm going to bring to you is just indisputable. And I cannot believe we missed this. And I'm telling you, wow, that's all I got to say. I got wowed myself. For decades, you guys know, banks have had to have pre-funded accounts in other countries just to facilitate cross-border payments.
Just so you know, if you're in Rumble, could you just hit the thumbs up for me? That'd be great. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
And that system, they call it Nostro Vostro. And the best part is they name it these things where people don't understand, just like quantitative easing pretty much means print more money, right?
Hey,
and the Nostro Vostro system right now, you guys all know it's slow, it's expensive, it's outdated. My goodness, we're in 2025. We have self-driving cars and money still, we're still using that system. And guess what? Ripple stepped in a long time ago, and this is why it's taken forever XRP to moon. They said, what if we don't lock that capital, the 27 trillion, and you just bridge them through an on-demand, something on-demand like XRP. And that is what on-demand liquidity is.
RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough.
Remember how Peter Thiel back in the day said this?
Our goal was nothing less than to replace the US dollar by creating a new digital currency.
They are a new global currency, what we call a math-based currency.
We did fail at our greater goal. The dollar is still dominant. We didn't succeed in taking over the whole world.
And just when Peter Thiel, Elon Musk got involved with XRP and Ripple, right away they started kind of testing stuff. Take a look at this. We have the Britain pounds, USD. This is back in 2013. This is when they got their XRP. And they started testing these different currencies, right? JPY, USD, AUD, GHF. Pretty significant, right? Setting out what they're doing. But they had a bigger vision, and that was to get all the custodians on board. And if you listen to these videos that I'm going to play right now, Brad mentions a 10-year vision. So that is going to put us to 2028, where things should go absolutely absurd. But before that...
Now, I don't think it's 2028, to be honest with you. He said 2028, but I'm telling you, they had this stuff already planned right at the beginning. You know, when they launched it, they knew what they were doing. So I don't think it really is 10 years from 2017-18. I don't. That's my opinion. He does, but who knows? It's all being put into place now.
Then we're going to see price move this year. So everybody relax. But the fact that they had this 10-year, this is what they did. That's why they got everybody on board. And I'm not going to connect all, I'm not going to tell you who's all involved because that's going to take ages. If you're new to this channel, just take our word for it. Ripple is the biggest crypto company out there that is working with financial institutions, and that is hands down a fact. So when that was said, it really gets you thinking. So listen to what was said.
Hang on, I'm going to skip it forward a little bit because he got stuck there.
I think that, we think about an internet of value, and Ripple's long-term kind of 10-year vision is how do we enable an internet of value? How do we enable value to move the way information moves today?
But also from the perspective of the end user, right? What can this technology offer that was not possible until today?
I'll go, with the term that people have coined, right? The internet of value.
We have a mission, a 10-year mission. And you heard Mr. Cigar talk about they started this from scratch. They knew it was going to be hard, but they started from scratch.
The problem is that the current cross-border payments infrastructure was not made for the internet age or for the shared economy as we live in today. And the problem is that while there are incumbents and startups trying to address some of the pain points, they are merely treating the symptoms by workarounds or by launching sleek apps. I think the problem is with the infrastructure itself. And mind you, it's a tough ask to build a new infrastructure right from scratch. It is cost intensive, it is resource intensive, and then there are many other regulatory complexities. So Ripple actually has set out on a mission of creating a new payments infrastructure from scratch. And this is what we call the Internet of Value.
I'm just going to say, remember everybody, for Ripple, here XRP, okay? They're inextricably linked. Ripple is the company, XRP is the token. XRP is what's going to be used as the fuel, right? So whenever you hear Ripple, just associate it with XRP in the use case type stuff.
So this is essentially our mission, where basically we...
And why it's so important for XRP is it is going to play that vital bridge currency, and people do not see it. And that's why when the BIS is asked, what could potentially be a bridge currency, this is what they say, because they're building it from scratch. They're not going to come out here and say what it is until it's fully said and done.
What really does a bridge currency in the digital first currency world look like?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to disappoint you, but I probably won't be able to answer that question. I mean, I can make some I can give a general trajectory, but I probably won't be able to answer it accurately. I mean, a bridge currency, the definition is a currency that's an intermediary between two other currencies, right?
Wow. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, this is some crazy stuff. And I really hope you understand what we're about to go over here. So the moment when we unlock that $27 trillion in trapped liquidity, things are going to get crazy. And what I mean by that is the bridge currency, there's going to be a bridge currency in position to catch that wave. And that is going to be XRP. If you don't grasp the magnitude of that, I mean, you better start waking up real fast because time is literally running out. Let me ask you something. where does that liquidity go, right? That $27 trillion. That liquidity is going to flow, and it's going to flow into the most trusted, compliant, and battle-tested infrastructure available, and that is the XRP ledger, and that is a fact. What I just said, the most trusted, the most compliant, and the most battle-tested infrastructure. And Ripple has built exactly that. A regulatory-first, institutional-backed, high-throughput financial machine, and at the center stage of it all is XRP. XRP is that bridge, the tunnel through which these value will flow. Like, this is not a guess. This is happening even right now, but nowhere near to at real institutional scale. Remember that banks do not want volatility, and that's why they stayed away. They said XRP was great back in 2018, 2017. We could use it, but their number one barrier to entry was it was volatile, and the regulators would never let them use that digital asset. But now their 10-year mission and their vision, they have pretty much succeeded on every avenue. Remember, no volatility. They want efficiency. They want certainty in fees, and they want interoperability. And XRP's deep liquidity pools are about to be lit on fire. While everyone else is still, pretending like they don't see it, you gotta understand, when this $27 trillion gets unshackled and put to work, it needs a rail to run on. And that rail is RippleNet, powered by XRP. This is what they tried to dismantle from the beginning. Why do you think they've been throwing lawsuits and distractions and propaganda against Ripple and its digital asset XRP? Remember, first it was escrow. Remember that whole escrow thing? They're dumping on that. That one's silent once it got so institutionalized. And remember, Bitcoiners were to go against banks, and now they want banks to buy their Bitcoin. The whole thing's upside down. Ripple from day one knew what was happening. So let me ask you again. You think that $27 trillion just unlocks and XRP stays at, $2? Nope. So just think about that. A regulated asset within regulatory corridors, trusted by institutions across the globe. And this is what the map will look like when everything's connected and it's good to go. You're looking at the monetary engine of the next era. And if you're not ready, you're going to watch the greatest wealth transfer of your life pass you by. Remember, XRP isn't just a token. It's the key to unlocking the largest pool of dormant capital the world has ever seen. Only a few will understand the magnitude of that. And the floodgates are about to open, and a lot of people are going to get left behind. Do not get distracted by the value of XRP whatsoever. Do not even look at the price of XRP. It doesn't matter knowing what we know. It's going to happen so fast, and we'll be back with another video.
But I think the idea of buying and holding forever and not trying to make adjustments requires that you've gotten it right in the first place. That you can only hold tight if you've bought right, if you will. And that is to say, have an asset allocation that has something to do with how many years you have to accumulate money, how much resources you have at stake, how much income you need, and how much courage you have to ride out the peregrinations of the market.
This is his song, which I kind of like. I put the link to this in the chat and say, right, so he 10 years in banking, this kid. I call him a kid because, of course, everybody's a kid to me now, which is sad. And it's, I mean, if you don't take it from me, take it from someone who knows. I mean, when it happens, okay, well, when it happens, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to possibly do one broadcast to mention XRP. Because obviously I won't be talking about it when after it happens. Then it will be too late to be able to make that change, from what I gather. Okay, I mean, it may not be. If people have, I can't tell you, but in my humble opinion, it's the best opportunity is now. The best potential. It's certainly not going to crash. It's not going to. It's just not. But anyway, right. So that's it for XRP for tonight. Now, I was pretty sure that I had, I thought I had a link to the, hold on. Sometimes my computer doesn't, so put a 1 in the chat if you're actually in, if you're in XRP, put a 2 if you're not, and put a 3 if you're never going to be into it, you're never going to even touch it. So 3 if you're never going to touch it, 1 if you are, 2 if no. And now, by the way, this thing here, this ledger event, unfortunately, you know, there are a lot of scams out there. Okay, understand there's no giveaway, there's no giveaways of XRP. It's a scam. And you always have to look for, what does it say? It's happening. Oh no, it's 100. Yeah, right. Or 100 billion? No, $100 million giveaway. Yeah, right. If you believe that, then, you know, you believe anything. No such thing. You have to be careful. You have to go to the source. Don't get scammed. Oh, look. Just in, Pakistan has officially recommended President Trump for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize. Pakistan. That's from Brick, so it's not a... I was looking for the joke, and I thought it was Babylon Bee or something would post something like that, but oh, that actually means quite a bit, really, I think. No, I'm not. Oh wait, I'm not gonna do about the nuclear Iran stuff. Oh, the one big beautiful bill. Now, I don't know when that's being voted on, right? But it seems like it's going to be the biggest tax break, biggest tax cut, biggest best for Americans, for the everyday Americans. So members of Congress are united in their commitment to deliver the one big beautiful bill to President Trump's desk. We have to get this one done for the American people so they don't face the largest tax increase in American history. Now, I don't know why there would be a largest tax increase in American history if this didn't go through. Nobody's explained that, but I'm not really bothered. But I don't know when this is going to the vote. And we also have the Genius Act needs to go through the House. President Trump basically did a message to say, don't muck about with it. Let's see.
It's all of our priorities. You're right. One big, beautiful bill, because it's got everything. I mean, it's all of our priorities in there. I mean, everything from the border that we talked about to, you know, we've got regulatory reform in there. We've got returning peace through
I've got a blue pill in here.
Properly funded.
I think that's my first ever blue pill.
Of course, the tax piece is huge. If we don't get this done, we're going to have the largest tax increase in U.S. history at the end of the year.
That's funny.
All of this is going to have it's going to be jet fuel to the U.S. economy because we have pro-growth policies in there again, incentivizing U.S. manufacturing, keeping tax rates low and making them permanent for people. I said, you're right. One big, beautiful bill because it's got everything. I mean, it's all of our priorities in there. I mean, everything from the border that we talked about.
Oh, sorry, that's already done. All right, guys. I think I've pretty much covered the topics tonight. So the stuff that's going on in England, I find very difficult to talk about, really. You know, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. The demonic entities are continuing the agenda to wipe out the population as quickly as they can. Yeah. You know, the big topics here are the grooming gangs and the assisted dying bill and the abortion bill. I mean, it's just really bad news. So, I do hope that you've enjoyed tonight's show. My apologies again at the beginning. I really screwed up with the sound. That's just really just it's mortifying to think I wasted all that time. And what can I say? Yeah, there's so much happening. I'm trying to get my head around what's happening, and it's sometimes it doesn't work. So it's Friday night. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. I genuinely don't think we're going to have. There's no threat for World War III. We're going to be fine. Donald Trump's got it in hand, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, just for the record, I support the Israeli cause. I do not support the Hamas, Hezbollah, Palestine in any way, shape, or form, because it's an Islamic jihad, and I don't support the Iranian Ayatollah. Okay, I support the Persian people, and I hope that things get sorted for them in Iran. I go for what I believe at this moment in time in history. I believe those are how it is supposed to be. So, thank you for being here tonight. Those of you who did stick it out, despite my just absolute eye off the ball with regards to the sound. Yeah, and so enjoy your weekend. Have a great one, and do please remember that if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. Cheers, everybody. Take care. Stay Amy out.
I believe I can touch the sky.
Okay, so you went to Cancun a couple of years ago, correct?
That's correct. I believe it was February 2021.
What is the population of Cancun, Ted?
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to know that?
So you went to Cancun, a place you know absolutely nothing about. I'm just curious, did you order a margarita while you were there?
Yeah, Tucker. I had maybe a couple of margaritas.
What's in a margarita, Senator? Do you even know how to make a margarita? You even know the ingredients?
Tucker, I just order it. I really don't know why you're asking me all these questions.
I'm asking you because tú no saben del Mexico, Senator Cruz. Tú es grande, pendejo, ignorante. Tú no saben de las margaritas deliciosas y el Cancun population. Are you even Hispanic, or is that fake too?
Okay, can we please just take a break?
Yeah, no. Stopped a very vicious war, so that was an honor for me to be involved. I want to thank J.D. Vance for a great job, and also our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has done a fantastic job. So Rwanda, long-term war with the Congo, a very bloody war. They're all bloody, but this was a really bloody one, is going to be making peace with Congo, and they can get on to making trade deals with the United States and other places and have a much more normal form of life. We're very honored by that. As you know, we did a very great job with India and Pakistan. And we had India in. It looks like we're going to be making a trade deal with India. And we had Pakistan in. It looks like we're going to be making a trade deal with Pakistan. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. Serbia, Kosovo, likewise, they've been fighting for years. And as you know, we brought that one to a conclusion. And now we have a couple of big ones. We have Russia, Ukraine, which is making a little bit of progress. And we have Israel, and nobody really knows what that one is all about. We're going to find out pretty soon, I guess.
Mr. President, the Iranian foreign minister this afternoon said if the U.S. is serious about negotiations, that you would call up Israel and request that they stop their airstrikes. Will you make that request?
Well, I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing. But we're ready, willing, and able, and we've been speaking to Iran, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
What was the thought process behind 2 weeks time to?
Just time to see whether or not people come to their senses.
Did the Europeans help at all in talking with the Iranians?
No, they didn't help. No. Iran doesn't want to speak to Europe. They want to speak to us. Europe is not going to be able to help in this one.
20 years ago, you were skeptical of a Republican administration that attacked a Middle East country on the idea of questionable intelligence of weapons of mass destruction. How is this moment different with Iran?
Well, there were no weapons of mass destruction. I never thought there were. And that was somewhat pre-nuclear. You know, there was a nuclear age, but nothing like it is today. and it looked like I'm right about the material that they've gathered already. It's a tremendous amount of material, and I think within a matter of weeks, or certainly within a matter of months,